What do you think, San Antonio Spurs fans? Will we see this tomorrow night? What is up, Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Hope you're having a great day. And there's been a lot of talk on the channel about maybe what the starting lineup should be, what the primary bench should be. And I was like, you know what? Let's do a video about that and talks amongst ourselves. So let's bring up the depth chart from ESPN. We'll start there. And let me just say, I agree with this. I actually do agree these should be the starters. De'Aaron Fox and the wings, Vassell and Vassell, Barnes, and Wemby. However, that starting lineup does lack size and three-point shooting. Fox this year is shooting about 33% from beyond the arc, and Vassell is sub 30%. I do think Stefan Vassell needs to keep starting, keep developing him. He has shown the ability to take over a game in spurts. We saw it last night. We saw it last week. There's these little moments where he'll go on a heater scoring 5, 6, 8 points in a row, and we got to keep him in there. I just don't see a world we can take him out. As far as the bench, and by the way, as we're talking about all this, we got to take it all with a grain of salt because who the heck knows what Mitch Johnson's going to do? Some of the lineups he puts out there in the rotation, you just sit there and you go, all right, we're rocking Harrison Barnes at center while the other team has 2 7-footers out there. Okay, all right, we're doing this. So again, grain of salt. I do think Chris Paul should come off the bench. I don't know if he's going to be happy with it, but him coming off the bench will give us leadership in the second unit. It's an upgrade over Trey Jones, no offense, and limited minutes will probably help the 39-year-old. If he's not willing to accept a bench role, could he be traded before the trade deadline, which is just about 2 days away? Maybe, but I'm hoping he accepts that role. There's no way. I've seen this talked about in other areas that maybe, and just like other websites, maybe Chris Paul and De'Aaron Fox just start together. No. I don't agree with that whatsoever. As far as the rest of the bench, Penny, Keldon, Jeremy, and then some sort of combination of Mamu or Bassi. And then that leads us to the other guys that are on the roster, Malachi, Blake, and Jordan. Probably regulated to garbage time. Jordan McLaughlin, I know a lot of us don't know a lot about him. He is a good three-point shooter, 47% last year, 39% this year in very limited time. If we need three-point shooting, could he see some minutes? I don't know. Probably not likely to crack the rotation unless he has, in garbage time, a couple games where you're like, wait a minute, this dude needs to get more minutes. And let's not forget we have an open roster spot. Harrison Ingram played last night at the end of the game, which was garbage time because we got blown out by the Grizzlies. We can't. Well, have we lost like 13 or 14 games in a row to them? It's bad, right? Like they just have our number at the moment. Could Ingram take the roster spot, or should we give it to somebody else? I don't know what they're going to do there, but we do have some movement, some ability to move on the roster. And I want to also talk about, the starting lineup too, because we've talked about this before on the channel, and I hate having to circle back to this, but Vassell is in a slump again. And a lot of folks were upset in the chat last night during the game, and I get it. I knew he hadn't been playing well recently, but I didn't realize it's literally a slump. I would call 5 games a slump, would you not? In the last 5 games, his shooting splits are 36, 23, and 50 while averaging 13.2 points per game. He has got to be one of the streakiest players on the Spurs right now, if not, maybe the streakiest, because the previous 5 games, did he not have over 20 or more in every game? It was shooting lights out. And then before that, he had like a 10-game slump. I mean, it's either he's hot or he's cold. There's really no in-between with this guy lately. It's like he's either good or bad. Okay, that's enough of that. The good news is Stefan Vassell, while Vassell has been slumping, has been playing very well his last 5 games, shooting 43, 39, 67, and averaging 17.6 points per game. He's also averaging more rebounds, assists, and steals in this little 5-game stretch than Devin is. Our rookie is outplaying our $29 million guy. I'm speechless. I'm speechless because I don't know what to do with Devin Vassell. I like him. I want him to succeed. But then when I look at this roster and I just look at the makeup, I sit here and I think, there's going to be changes coming. This lineup may work for now. It's not a contending lineup, Spurs fans. We're not kidding ourselves. The play-in might even be a problem. We're so far behind. Can we go enough games over 500 to crack the top 10? I don't know. And when I look at the future, is a lineup of Wemby, Sohan, you got to think at some point they're going to want him back in the starting lineup. Wemby, Sohan, Vassell, Vassell, Fox. That's also a small lineup. And that's really not good three-point shooting. You got Wemby who could shoot the 3, Vassell, who he's kind of fallen off lately. He's down to 35% for the year. And then you got Sohan and Castle sub 30%. Hopefully they can turn things around sooner than later. And then Fox, 33% now. I know he's shot better. Maybe he'll shoot better in San Antonio. But that starting lineup, that floor spacing is a nightmare. At this moment in time, we can't have Sohan and Castle in the rotation at the same time. And I just kind of scratch my head, and I'm going off on a tangent here, but I'm like, what does the future look like for us? Are Sohan and Vassell going to eventually be traded because they don't work with what we're doing? You guys got to think, Wemby's untradeable. I think we all agree on that, except for like the small portion of fans that say trade Wemby. I don't get that, but okay, whatever. Wemby, Castle, I think most agree that there's too much potential there to move on from him right now. And if you just brought Fox in, the plan would be to keep him. And I know he's got a contract extension coming up. I'm hoping the fact that he's moving from California to Texas. He doesn't already live in Texas, does he? No, that wouldn't make sense. Texas has no personal taxes, whereas California, I think, is going up to 15%. So maybe he'll take a little team-friendlier contract because he's not paying state taxes. I don't know. But when I look long-term, I'm like, okay, we got Fox, we got Castle, and Miss TSR is worried about Stephon Castle's development where De'Aaron Fox is playing the point guard. I'm like, you know what? Basketball is so positionless now. Castle played off-ball in UConn. I could see them sharing point guard duties, which is what the Spurs do now with CP3 and Stephon Castle. They're both going to be combo guards. Steph does look like a score-first guard anyway, so that's going to be really both those guys. I don't see either guy averaging 10 points. So, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm the lost to what. I don't know what direction to take the team in. Not that it's up to me. It's up to Brian Wright, Pop, and company. But I look at the roster and I'm like, I like our guys, but do they work with Wemby? I like Jeremy. Jeremy's been slumping. He finally showed some life last night, and he made a couple three-pointers. Didn't look awful. But I'm like, is he the missing piece at the 3 or 4? And then Vassell, he's regressed so much this year. If he stays kind of where he is right now, that's going to look like a huge overpay. And what's that? Do we just ride out his contract for the next few years, or are we trying to move him? There's a lot of question marks, and guys, I think there's going to be a lot of changes. I look at this roster, and I like some pieces, and I look at other pieces. I look at our lack of a backup center. My goodness, Charles Bassey went down holding his knee last night, and I thought, oh my gosh, he blew out his knee again. Now it's just Wemby and Mamu. And I like Mamu. It doesn't seem like the Spurs like him much because he doesn't get a lot of playing time. I don't know what to do. I know I'm rambling a bit, but I want the team to succeed. And I'm looking at the roster, and I want everybody to also succeed. But I just know that's not going to happen, and there's going to be a lot of changes going into the next season. We might see more trades before Thursday. Who the heck knows? But I'm going to wrap it up here. Drop a comment down below. Do you think this should be the starting lineup? Do you want to see Vassell go to the bench and somebody else step up? I know a lot of folks are not happy with him right now. Do you think Castle's in the place where he absolutely shouldn't be benched at this moment? Or are you like, you know what, put the Rook back on the bench, let him develop later? I never say develop later when you have a guy like this. But I appreciate your comments. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up if you'd like to become an official member and sponsor of TSR Sports. And subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs community. And also, we'll be live tomorrow night for the Spurs and the Hawks. I believe Fox is making his debut tomorrow night. All signs point to that. That should be a fun one. And for those of you still hanging around, we have started the transformation from the I Like Crap channel to I Make Crap, which I'm just going to start uploading everything I've ever done on YouTube that's not TSR Sports. I just want a place to have it all. And I was like, you know what? Have fun with that. No pressure to do content. If there's any weird thing you ever want to do, put it on there. Well, whatever. It'll be a variety channel. Who cares? I don't know. Thank you. And as always, go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go.